Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome each one of you on this online panel discussion today, which we are going to have, in which we are having experts from the industry. The topic of today's session will be expert perspective on school education, higher education, and skilling in the light of emerging technologies and Industry 4.0. I would like to welcome all our panelists that are present today. We are going to have Dr. P. Balamurugan, Mrs. Punitha, Professor Subraya, Mr. Kumar, and Professor Nagabhushan. I am requesting all of them to join us today for the session now. I would like to introduce Mrs. Punitha. She is the founder of Amphisoft, and I would like to also introduce Dr. Balamurugan. He is the Chief Learning Officer for Ebox. Mr. Kumar, who is the former Associate Director for Cognizant, and uh, Dr. Subraya, who is the former Vice President in Infosys. I will be giving the introduction of each one of the panelists now. So, Mr. Kumar is 23 years of an industry veteran who has worked in MNCs like TCS, Sintel, Cognizant, passionate about learning science uh, before venturing into high-tech farming. He was with Cognizant Academy as a learning solution architect for the campus graduate training program. His learning module won prizes in Brandon Hall for the best advancement in learning strategies. We would like to welcome you, Dr. Kumar, today to the session.
You.
Mrs. Punitha is a graduate from Anna University and started her career with ISRO. Her passion for quality education made her opt towards teaching and skilling. She worked for Amrita University and then led TCS Ignite, a special skilling program for BSc recruits. At TCS, she developed interest towards tech-enabled learning, and during 2009, she started Amphisoft Technologies. Her ability in modeling education and skilling significantly through data-driven approaches and automation and learning has given birth to a product called Ebox.
Thank you,
Welcome, Ms.
Siddharth.
Punitha.
Thank you.
Dr. Bala Murugan is a PhD from IIT Madras and a postdoctoral researcher at Nanyang Technical University, Singapore, with a wide variety of experience in teaching, research, industry, and administration spanning over 20 years of service. He has got a flair of innovative practice for educational excellence. He has served a number of academic councils and governing bodies of various technical institutions and has published more than 14 papers in SCI journals, uh, international journals. Welcome, Dr. Bala.
Yeah, thanks, Siddharth.
Dr. Subraya is a PhD from IIT Delhi and has served as a Vice President and Dean and Head of Global Education Center for Infosys Limited, an organization which is committed into education and has world's largest corporate university housed in Mysore. He has more than 35 years of experience in both academic and corporate education, and he has been instrumental in development of education governance training strategies, assessment methodologies, and leveraging technology for training of graduates which will be joining corporates at different stages. Welcome, Dr. Subraya, for the session today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So we'll be starting the session, and so as I have already introduced the experts, we are expecting one more expert to join us. He's in a MHRD meeting at the moment, and he'll be joining us in another half an hour. So once he joins, then I'll give his introduction and also take his opinion. To start the session, I will request Mrs. Punitha to first come as the first speaker. I am putting a question for her, and I would request her to share her views on this. So, ma'am, what, according to your experience, is the future of school education in India? Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, all. I'm glad to be a part of this expert panel. As we see, we are now 20 years into the 21st century. We live in a globally and digitally interconnected world. We need to make sure that our schools and our classrooms are as engaging, as responsive, and as dynamic as the world that is around us. All learners, right from K-12 to higher education, they would need new skills and new knowledge to succeed. The essential 21st century skills that every kid should need to learn are the problem solving skills, and apart from that, what we call as the 4 C's: the creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, and communication. And to this list of 4 C's, I would like to add another C, namely the choice. I'm not adding choice as a skill to learn, but choice will be the characteristic of any future classroom. What do I mean by this choice? By choice, I mean a situation where many learning activities are available to the students, which are designed to meet the many diverse learning styles of the student, and the students have the choice to select from the different learning models, curriculum, or the collaborative opportunities seamlessly. Choice would breed engagement, creativity, competition, individuality, and which in turn will breed further innovation. Now, this change in setup, that is, a classroom setup based on these 5 C's, would require a shift from a teacher-centered curriculum to a student-centered curriculum. As teachers and as educators, we must all embrace the students of today to reimagine tomorrow. As long as schools have existed for ages and for centuries, teachers have been the primary source, the main source of knowledge in the classroom. So, how do we change that? So, we need to first let go of or release that hold of power in the classroom. Teachers were the gatekeepers for everything that has happened in the classroom. We were in charge of everything that happens inside the classroom. We were in charge of everything that the students do or the students don't do in the classroom. So, how do we shift from a teacher centered classroom to a student centered or a student led classroom? So for this, as teachers, we need to step back from the front and center, and we need to move towards the side, being a guide rather than as a dictator in the classroom. And this would enable us with more opportunities to not only teach, but also to coach, to mentor, to motivate, to nurture, and to inspire students. So this is the first point that I want to say about the future education in schools or the future classrooms. They would be more student-centered rather than teacher-centered. And the second thing is that we must try to embrace purposeful technology in future classrooms. Using technology just for the sake of using technology is not going to serve the purpose. For instance, we have a 60 student virtual Zoom classroom and we have a 60 student physical classroom. It doesn't make any difference except from the distributed location advantage that we get. So what is technology about it? It's just possibly worse. So when we speak about technology enabled learning, here artificial intelligence should be the core pedagogy. So when I speak about artificial intelligence, it's not just like a Siri to mean hollow, non-authentic digital blabbering, but artificial intelligence should rather be used as a tool for the students to use, to create, to design their own learning experience. Artificial intelligence should be the core of the education experience, helping students to choose their courses, books, assessments, the learning strategies, the career possibilities, and much more. Would you ever choose to build a house on the top of an unfinished foundation? Absolutely no, right? Then why do we rush students into education when they haven't actually grasped the basics? So every student is unique, every student has unique capabilities, every student's learning style is different and their pace is different. So when we speak about technology enabled learning, personalization and adaptive learning driven through AI would be the key. If we look at the kids of today, they have never lived in a time without Wi-Fi or mobile devices. They have never felt the pain of T9 texting. They have never experienced dial-up internet. Technology is the language that students speak. So as educators and as teachers, we would be the champions of digital citizenship. So the second point that I want to make is the usage of technology in the future classrooms. By usage of technology, I mean the extensive use of AI in driving personalization and adaptive learning in the classrooms. The third point is about the change in the assessment pattern in the future schools or in the future education. The assessments in the future schools will not focus on how much the students is able to reproduce from what they have already learned in the schools. The focus would be on how they are able to extrapolate from what they know and how they are able to apply their knowledge to solve new problems in novel situations. The future assessments would focus on the assessing the four C's like creativity, communication, collaboration, and critical thinking, in addition to problem solving. The future assessments in schools would focus on assessing the student's grit, his ability to navigate to success through failures, and how he can tackle failures. The future assessments would focus on assessing the student's digital literacy skills as well as the life skills that he would need when he graduate as successful employees or promising employers or as eminent citizens or as innovative individuals in the real world. And the other point that I need to make is that the quality of the learning experience of students would start depending less on the schools in the future, as technology will make resources, curriculum, differentiation, as well as other teachers and classrooms accessible. So the final thing that I want to share with you all is that technology might change, the academic rules might change, the education policies might change, the learning uh, the learning patterns of students might change, the learning styles might change, everything might change with time. But there is one thing that will remain constant throughout time, which will withstand the test of time, and it is the relationship between students and teachers. And it is this relationship between students and passionate teachers which will be the foundation of any successful classroom today and forever. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I'll pitch in whenever needed.
Thank you, Mrs. Punitha. I think you have made a very interesting point here, especially that the relationship between the student and the teacher is something which is going to be very, very important and critical. And moreover, as we understand that technology is certainly a new normal. We have kids in our house, and when we tell them that 20 years back when we were going to a place and we were really looking for a house or a locality, we would ask the people on the street that where to go and how to go. So they find that how is it possible, because they are habitual of using Google and they are habitual of using the GPS. So for them, technology is new normal. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and when she's interacting with me, she identifies my phone with my phone, my mother's phone with her phone, and my wife's phone with her phone. So for them, technology has become an integral part of our identity into this time. So I would really thank you for the input that you have shared. Now I would request Mr. Kumar to please take up this question. What is the impact of technology enabled learning? So what really is the impact you feel technology enabled learning is making to the society? Over to you, Mr. Kumar.
Great. First of all, thank you for having me in this forum. I felt honored. When we talk about the technology impact, right? Technology enabled learning. I think, as you mentioned, right, your daughter is, able to work with different phones, right? And today, technology invaded our entire space, right? I would say from kitchen to hall to your study room, everywhere the technology is there, right? To know about Corona, right? Did we go to school? No. All of a sudden, within a couple of weeks, the entire society, entire community learned about Corona. How does that happen? Right? It's only possible because of technology, right? For anything and everything, today we go to YouTube, look at few documents, and then learn as we go. be it to build a robot or you want to cook something. Today, technology in your palm, and it teaches you. You can access the expert from wherever you are. That is a beautiful, impact that technology did to learning, right? That's the first thing. And second thing, which I always tell people about asking questions, right? When you are a kid, right, when you can experience that, 4 years old kid or 5 years old kid, they keep asking a lot of questions, right? Statistically, people say that around 30 to 40 questions a child will ask, and then over the period, if you see, when we reach the adult stage, we almost stopped asking questions, and then beyond 20, no, right? But asking question is a critical for to learn any new things. Technology brings back that habit of asking questions. Today, for anything and everything, you'll go to Google and ask question without any fear, right? Technology created a phenomena of fearless learning. You can go and ask any question. You don't worry about the grammatical mistake. You don't worry about the spelling mistake. But still, you go and type your question what you want to ask Google. Um, and that habit, right, has been created by the technology. So it's up to us how we can form a learning habit using technology, right? Technology can create a new learning habit. That's the second impact, I would say, what technology has done to technology enabled learning, right? One, today you can access the experts from wherever you are, and second, you can learn without fear by asking a lot of questions using technology. The third thing, Punitha talked about AI, right? Personalized learning. So when do we learn? When we get feedback then and there, we tend to learn better, right? Your traditional assessments or year-end assessments will give you very very small feedback on your performance in terms of some numbers, but the feedback, technology enables the feedback then and there, right? We learn, that's how we learn more things. For example, if you're driving on the road, you take cues from the traffic signal, and then you adjust your driving speed or pattern, right? The same way today technology can help the learners to by giving the feedback then and there, right? So that's the third thing that the technology is making impact on the learning. The fourth one, which I would like to bring upon, is how much is too much, right? Today, while we all talk about technology enabled learning, if you go out and see, there are a lot of learning resources available in the internet, right? A lot of learning portals, or learning programs, online programs. I would correlate that as a wedding meal, right? If you go to a wedding and in the meal, if you see, it will be very rich, very tasty, but too many items, right? Uh, Not everyone will eat everything. They taste few things and then leave it rest, right? So it is very important that while we are talking about technology enabled learning, we need to precisely give what the learners want. Okay. um, don't overwhelm with too many good things to the students. I would say with this COVID-19 lockdown, many schools started online sessions, right? If you see, right, from morning 10 to evening 7, there is no time restriction. Schools are scheduling online sessions, right? Now, all of a sudden, there is an survival factor, and we are trying to adapt to the new normal of technology, right? What we should look at technology enabled learning, we have to look beyond this COVID-19 situation, right? We have to look how we will interleave the technology to influence fearless learning, and creating a learning habit with this student community. That's how I see the future. um, Siddharth. Um,
So I think the main point which you have made over here is that technology has enabled fearless learning. So this is something which is really new, and I think this is very interesting that once we have fearless learning possibilities available, because often we see when we are in a normal setup or in a conventional method of learning, so we are always afraid that if I will ask this question, how my other students are going to take it? Are they going to laugh at me, or are they going to find it funny? So this fearless learning is very important, and somewhere down the line, we are not able to make the right utilization of the opportunity whenever we are in a normal setup. Whereas when it comes to technology, this fearless learning will certainly be very important, and I think it will improvise the overall learning capability of an individual. Thank you, Mr.
yeah,
Kumar, for sharing that. And now I would request Dr. Bala to please share his views with respect to how we can really revolutionize the engineering education. So if we can request Dr. Bala to please share his views on this. Dr.
Yeah,
Bala, over to
thanks, thanks, Siddharth. I really feel extremely honored and privileged to talk amidst the experts. But before we talk on how we can work towards revolutionizing engineering education, let us understand why at all we need to revolutionize. Okay, we'll understand what is happening around in the engineering campuses across the country. And before that, I hail from a product-based engineering and technology company called Amphisoft, which develops many products to solve problems in the arena of education, health, agriculture, and so on. Ebox is one of our flagship products, which is primarily designed and developed for imparting employability skills to the stakeholders of higher learning institutions. And Ebox is currently used by more than 250 academic institutions across the nation and more than 50 multinational corporates across the globe. And I am personally consulting to more than 40 technical institutions across the country. And interestingly, I have acquired a lot of experience and expertise in my last 8 months alone, when I have traveled more than 40,000 kilometers right from Dehradun to Kanyakumari, having visited more than 85 universities, affiliated colleges, and autonomous colleges across India. Invariably, I could witness an universal phenomenon, except for the case of institutes of national importance. All institutions have been successful in being able to make their students get good marks, getting their students graduate, imparting the employability skills and all that. But who knows, in the near future, marks and degree certificates may not be required by the corporates in future at all. But I have a greater $1 million question, like, do we ever serve the purpose of engineering education? Means, are we able to produce real engineers? By real engineers, are they capable of solving problems in their own domains pertaining to the society or to the industry, whatever it is, as expected or prescribed by the graduate attribute or the program outcome of National Board of Accreditation? By the way, what do the corporates say about that? We also encounter the statistics from the national media, like more than 80% of the present graduates are not employable by the corporate. It's a sad truth. And when it comes to coding, less than 4% of the applicants are capable of doing good coding. So a person who has got good marks in design couldn't design. A person who has got good mark in listening, speaking, reading, writing could not do speak or do any of that. A person who has secured 95% in coding couldn't do coding. So it's a sad truth. That is what is happening in almost all the institutions invariably. I could also see that most of the toppers from many good institutions, they are being able to secure only jobs from service-based industries doing a non-technical job. We are on the one side from academic institutions, they have to think that because of all these, the engineering graduates are not able to secure jobs. They think that they have a huge supply of graduates, but in demand. But on the contrary, corporates, since we closely work with multinational corporates for talent identification, we could sensitize their pain points. They are literally struggling to get the best talents, meaning they said that they have greatest demand, but unfortunately they couldn't get the skilled graduates. So having learned this arena in the academics and in the corporate, where lies the real lacunae? So how to address this gap between the academic institutions and the corporates? How to revolutionize the engineering education? Can the Industry 4.0 technology help us in revolutionizing the engineering education? And by the way, how to effectively follow the guidelines, instructions, reformations given by the Ministry of Human Resource Development and All India Council for Technical Education in revamping the syllabi, curriculum, making the students employable and all that. First, let us understand what is happening in the academic institutions. Necessarily, in all the classrooms, we have almost in all the classrooms, we have only monotonous monologue kind of delivery, and wherein now the present generation becomes impatient. They couldn't listen to the lecture more than beyond 10 minutes or so. Okay, and we couldn't give personalized focus, individual care, feedback also because of the less teacher-student ratio. And also, for want of time, we couldn't solve as many problems with real-time applications and industry scenario and all that. So we are focusing more on securing marks. So winding up the subject with that semester, switching on to the next course, and it passes by. So we are successful in acquiring the knowledge and securing marks. But when it comes to skill, there is a greater lacuna. And more so in the current system of assessment, either it be continuous internal assessment or the end semester examination, the learning curve of a student is assessed or fed back only at the end of say 24th day, 25th day, where I get the results of the first continuous internal assessment. Okay, so what if instead of exposing the students to just 20 to 25 problems in a course, if he is exposed to say 150 to 200 problems, that to all real-time applications with industry scenario and all that, it's a great boon to students. And fortunately, all students are capable of solving those many number of problems. Only we have a limitation as far as the faculty side are concerned. Again, I will not blame the faculty point of it. It's a matter of capability. If either faculty or instead of faculty, somebody else can give such many numbers of problems to the students are ready to do that. Okay, so if I can give individual care and personal feedback depending on the correctness of problem, what every learner does, it's a tremendous boon to every learner. Okay, and now thanks to the technology and because of this COVID lockdown, as was mentioned by the other experts, every institution has started doing the video-based learning through Zoom or whatever it is. Okay, but is it worth only doing the video-based teaching alone without giving proper focus to practice? It will not serve the purpose. Okay, so the real skilling part of it is achieved if only the student is made to solve the real-time applications and scenario-based problems. Okay, and Ebox does it. Ebox throws students to sufficient learning materials through in the video format, text, interactive animations, whatever it is not again monologue. It ensures that the learner is listening to the video. It always keeps them engaged. It throws questions to kindle their understanding skills, employability skills, and exploratory skills, and more so the design and thinking skills. Okay, and we don't have to wait for the 25th day to get the feedback of students. Right from the day one, the Ebox platform, the artificial intelligence tool that takes care of the progress of every student. Okay, and what if every student is handled depending on his progress of learning? That's really again a tremendous boon to the students, and that is what is Ebox doing for every learner. So Ebox is basically an artificial intelligence platform which has got the auto evaluation for all the courses. It evaluates and it gives feedback to the individual learner also. On top of it, it builds digital longitudinal profile for every learner based on their progress. So it is not common to all. It is specific to individual learner. So thereby, we are able to transform the current human-driven effectiveness from say 8% to 10% with all our client institutions to the so-called 80 to 80% of the effectiveness because of this artificial intelligence faculty-driven mode of skilling and learning. And we are also happy and pride to have been evaluated with the 3 rounds of evaluation by professors from institutes of national importance by AICT and MHRD under NEET initiative, where Ministry of Human Resource Development is insisting on personalized skilling with the use of technology. And in that NEET scheme, MHRD and AICT has recognized Ebox, and in fact, the ministry and the council is promoting Ebox all across the country. And more so in the COVID lockdown period, based on the request of MHRD and AICT, this Ebox platform is being taken to the students all across the technical institutions from every corner of the country. We are also happy to disclose that during the last 16 days alone, we have been able to offer our platform at free of cost to more than 10,500 students all across India. And we have also recently come out with a new initiative with this technology-enabled engineering education with a new initiative called Ebox Colleges, where we have completely transformed the way of teaching and skilling that is happening in the engineering campus. 3 engineering campuses. We have totally signed with 3 colleges. United Institute of Technology, which is in Perinagampalayam, Kadir College of Engineering in Nilambur, Sri Shanmuga College of Engineering and Technology in Salem. So in these 3 colleges, the entire teaching learning happens through technology, meaning all 2,000 students of those campuses are learning through the help of artificial intelligence. So we are also proud to disclose that in the last 2 weeks of COVID lockdown period, all the students have been engaged right from the morning till evening, but unusually not through the video-based learning only. Like the first 2 hours, they'll be engaged with the faculty members concerned through the kind of video live lectures, and from the post-tea break, they'll be engaged in solving more number of real-time problems pertaining to industry scenarios. And we could see that many students from all corners of Tamil Nadu, even from the rural part, they find really enthusiastic to be participative in this kind of technology-enabled learning. Though we had a little, not good percentage in the beginning, but over the days we were able to achieve a greater percentage, even to the tune of 80% amidst the interesting learners. So we assured that the same success can be benchmarked to all the engineering institutions if they are ready to benchmark the revolutionizing Indian engineering education with the help of technology. So our ultimate intention is that not just producing graduates, but real engineers. We mean real engineers, the product engineers who could produce the products for our own India. Okay, and they should come out as real entrepreneurs, as job givers rather than job takers.
Thanks, sir. Sir, thank you very much for sharing your views. In fact, something very interesting which you mentioned that the students are having 10 minutes of attention span when it comes to the normal conventional method. And when we are using technology, and especially the type of product which you have developed, you are even able to engage them using the technology. Not only it is an instructional mode, but also some kind of a participative method in which they are able to solve some real-time problems from the industry, which are basically put forward to them from your side. So I think this kind of learning is very important for future graduates, and also the very fact which you have mentioned that MHRD and AICT has approved the products that you are offering, and with the help of those products, we have been able to reach out to these 10,500 plus students in the last 15 days. So I personally feel that somewhere down the line, this lockdown and the COVID-19 has come forward as a as a time, as an opportunity for technology to take over. Because
Exactly.
so far we have been talking about technology, we have been talking about, we have been going to the institutions, telling them the advantages, but there has been a resistance. But with this COVID-19 and the after effects, the very fact that we are not able to move out, even institutions have started realizing, and it will be, I think, when we are out of the lockdown, especially for organizations like Ebox and similar organizations which are emphasizing on the importance of technology, it will be a very good outcome. So, with that, I would now request our next expert, Dr. Subraya, to please. Uh, Sir, you are and you have been in Infosys and you have led massive skilling campaigns for graduates. So, can we request you to share your experiences when you were skilling those fresh engineering graduates when they are joining the corporates?
So very, very good morning to all of you. First of all, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be part of this panel. Uh, I think we have faced many uncertainties in the past. For example, 2000, 2001, during that time, there was uncertain, particularly for graduates who wants to become a professional in various industries. And today, of course, we are facing another set of uncertainties worldwide because of the COVID-19. This COVID-19 itself, we can take it as an example then why really we have to prepare ourselves to build up an excellent ecosystem to cater to or to face these uncertainties. I think probably looking at since last 10 to 15 days data points from all over the world, probably must have gone back 20 years. 20 years, 30 years, we don't know. That is probably a technology we will be using with a maximum extent. At the lowest level, as an individual, if you are looking at probably the uncertainties, to quote an example, because of this COVID-19 on the lighter side, many people, why many people, 100% of the people, they are staying in home. And then in the staying in the home means, the spouses are experimenting within the kitchen and then don't know what to do. And then probably they're trying to experiment with new things. Probably if they're experimenting certain things in the kitchen because they don't know what the taste and how it is going to be. Imagine the situation there, the engineering college students who are coming from various engineering schools. Directly we push them to the projects. Directly we push them to cater to the industry needs at the client space. The same thing will happen. They don't know what to do. The question is whether the engineering education is just sufficient for the people to take up the projects. Already Dr. Bala mentioned that is the kind of challenges they are facing. But based on my experience with the training more than 100,000 fresh graduates from all over the world and pushing them to make them productive at the client space, I feel that is we need to build up a good ecosystem. What do you mean by an ecosystem? Just to give an example here to the present situation, many people, all of a sudden, you must have observed that is people are coming out with what I call the sanitizer chambers. Sanitizer chambers, you must have seen that is in various markets, etc. Just there is a physical infrastructure, and to add it to that, there is a sprinkler, and then just you walk down, and then automatically you'll be sanitized. So that means, a kind of an ecosystem is created there to handle the uncertainty. So just explore that and then see that is what is the kind of ecosystem probably you can imagine when the output product of the engineering education is not so good. Then we need to build up a good ecosystem. So that is probably what you mean by an ecosystem here. I feel that is one is on the physical infrastructure. Obviously, we know that we can build up good building, good classrooms, good technology infrastructures, etc., etc. That is one part of the story. The other part of the story is how to build up the technical infrastructure. What do you mean by technical infrastructure? Probably at the top level, if a student or if a graduate who wants to take up a job, and he has to be a professional because he has to cater to the industry needs, not within India, but across all the countries, starting from Asia Pacific region to India to Europe to West. So if that is the case, of course, he must be adaptable to the situation. He must be pretty strong in technology. He must be pretty strong in foundation, etc., etc., etc. For that, it is not just he himself or herself will automatically get to know about this. It's difficult unless otherwise you build up a good ecosystem. Apart from physical infrastructure, I feel that is we have to build up a good technical infrastructure. So what is technical infrastructure? So one is on the content per se. That is how in a changing environment, how we can ensure that is individual graduates will acquire good knowledge and the skill, and then how we want to drive this content to individuals. So that is the content engineering itself is a big challenge. That is one area. To handle this content and to handle the training, of course, we need the best of the best faculty members to drive them. Could be, you can call it an educator, a mentor, evangelist, whoever that is, depending upon the type of the training which is required. And at the same time, content is ready, the faculty members or educators ready, but how do you ensure that is when I conduct a training, the learning assurance happens? So that is where, I'm not talking about the assessment here. Assessment, it is a post-learning phase to have just a checks and balances, just auditing. I'm not particular about that. So I'm looking at if I conduct a training, how do I ensure that is the target audience is learned? That is where the challenge is. That is the learning assurance. It is not just learning assurance, but at the same time adaptable to the project. What is adaptable to the project? Probably could be the domain, could be the environment, could be the situation, could be the context, whatever that is. So from all these perspectives, we need to build up an excellent education ecosystem. In the ecosystem, how it looks like that, if an engineering college student, let us say if I take about 40,000 of students, if I push them into this chamber for a period of, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, etc., automatically when he comes out from the chamber, so he must be ready to handle the situation, probably at the global level. When it comes to the information technology, I will describe with these simple three words. He should be a software global professional. The software, probably that is the domain, that is the IT industry. Probably the global, he must be ready to work anywhere, adaptable to the situation. Probably he should be proficient in communications, etc., etc. I should carry the certain value systems also. But finally, he must be a professional. At any point of time, if you go and stand in front of the customer, see, he must be a professional. So that is why I'm looking at a raw data which is coming into the ecosystem. When I'm going out of that, then automatically that person should be a software global professional. So probably we can extend this. So from this perspective, today, if you are looking at the challenges we are facing, I feel that is, so we had to build up a good ecosystem wherein, first of all, we develop them on the foundation. So that means why we need to develop them on foundation, especially on the problem solving skills, and then probably technology foundations or whatever that is. There, I feel that is every individual must be a fungible. The fungible means, he must be ready to take up and adapt to the requirement of the industry needs. So today, probably, or probably immediately after the COVID-19, post-COVID-19, the challenges could be different. Could be, requirement could be different. I don't know. Definitely, the requirements are going to be challenging and different. Is there any way that we can adaptable to the situation or not? For that, we had to produce an engineer who is fungible to take up the challenging one. So that is where I feel that is we have to build up an excellent ecosystem. It is not the physical infrastructure, but it is the technical infrastructure. Within that, again, I'm going back to the sanitizer chamber. When I just enter into the sanitized chamber, when I go out of the sanitized chamber, I'm ready. That means no virus, nothing. Exactly similarly, in the ecosystem, when I am going out of that, I'm ready to take up the real challenges faced by customers and provide best of the best solutions to the customer. That is where I feel. And here, important thing is, even one person, one individual, it is easy to do it. But when it comes to the scale, let us say 40,000, 30,000 people, if I wanted to develop them within India, and it is going to be a big challenge. How do we address this scale? Of course, we need to leverage the technology, we need to follow the processes, etc., etc. So that is where I feel that is we have to build up an excellent ecosystem within India to face the uncertainties. Thank you. Over to.
Thank you, sir, for your input. In fact, the thing that you have mentioned, that a student needs to be, or a professional needs to be a software global professional, is something very interesting, because what we do is, when we are talking about a specialized industry in our space, we say subject matter expert. So now onwards, I will make sure that whenever I am communicating, I will say a subject matter expert, that is a SME, who is a global professional. So a subject matter expert who can work in the global market, and at the end of the day is a professional, is something what is going to be the need of tomorrow. And also the very fact that you mentioned, that their learning assessment maybe not be so much important. That assessment, that what they have been able to learn may not be so much important, but whether they are able to learn and they are able to adopt in the normal course of life is what is more important. So with that, I think this gives a very good insight to us, uh, for the future graduates, and also the professionals who are already working in the organizations. Now, I would like to put one question to all the panelists here. Uh, See, we are all undergoing this COVID-19 lockdown, and somewhere down the line, within our industry, education industry, if we say, we have seen a lot of opportunities emerging out. But how do we really, look at it from the perspective of the students? Because see, students, they are not habitual of so much of uncertainties, and at this point in time, we see the students are facing a lot of uncertainties. So can you, if any one of you would want to highlight on how technology can really help these students to not get, not to succumb to this lockdown, and be more confident about their future and all. Dr. Bala, you would
Yeah,
like? Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to answer to that. Unlike other industries, learning never stops due to any lockdowns.
Right.
So anybody can learn, keep learning from anywhere, anytime. So that is the beauty of learning by itself. And more so with the advantage of technology, and people from any remotest part of the world still has got access to any resource wherever he is. There is so much of resources available now, less dependence, having less dependence on the textbooks and printed versions. One can learn from anywhere, anytime in the world. So And with the advent of more technology, he has to ensure with not just getting exposed to the concepts alone, but also to the due practice and the exposure and skilling, the way the corporates want. If we can ensure both attaining the knowledge and the practice-based skills, he can go to places wherever he is. Now the corporates, we understand that no corporates are ready to spend much on training part of it. So they want all graduates to be day one deployable. So if only graduate, whether he learns inside the academic campus or outside the campus, if he can ensure attaining of both these attributes of learning, he can always get placed and become day one employable.
Sir, I have just received one question. One of the student has written a question, and he wants to know that when you are offering these Ebox products to the students, is it through their institutions or is it through the students can access this product directly also?
Yes, a good question. Student has got the access directly to the Ebox portal, and more so, they would have received message and mail from the All India Council for Technical Education by just clicking the link that will directly take to the NEET portal in the AICT website, where they are exposed to more than 40 skilling courses. So they have got the options of all these skilling courses. They can choose one from the courses available. They can log in as a student themselves.
Okay, sir, I would want I would want to direct one question to Mr. Kumar. Okay, so when we are talking about technology and we are talking about a product like Ebox, what is the amount of impact a product like Ebox can have, and what is the positive outcome we can expect from a product like Ebox on this current situation?
All right. So when we have extensively leveraged Ebox platform for our graduate training program 4 to 5 years. During my period at Cognizant, this platform has given a lot of insights to us as well as to the learners, right? So even when I speak in the beginning, I was talking about feedback, right? That's one of the learning footprint which students leave in the learning platform, which you can leverage it for students' benefit, right? So Ebox has that capability, and we leveraged it. And I think they also have gone to many colleges and corporates are leveraging it. Absolutely, it's scaling to the entire nation needs, right? As Bala was mentioning about Ebox have been in as part of NEET program, and it is catering to the nation need for skilling. So scaling is not a problem, and it gives the intelligence to the teachers as well as to the students for their learning outcomes.
Right. Thank you very much. And I would want to put one question to Mrs. Punitha. Yeah, ma'am. So, ma'am, when we talk about the technology that we are using in today's time towards, making this education online and making it possible for the students for tech-enabled learning and all those things, how do you rate India as a country vis-a-vis the other countries across the globe in terms of our positioning, and where do we really stand on the global map when we talk about the tech-enabled learning?
So, to answer this, I would say that India is no way behind any other country as far as tech-enabled learning is concerned. The most of the technology platforms that are available all around the globe, if you look at the founders or if you look at the founding team, most of the platforms have the Indian founders. And even if you take one of the products, one of our products, Ebox, it is one of the largest technology-enabled skilling and learning platform in the globe, and it has features which cannot be compared with the other platforms that are available. It has all the features to enable technology-enabled learning, so we are nowhere behind any of them.
Right.
I can even say that India is a pioneer in technology-enabled learning.
That is what, that is what actually I would be very happy to hear from you when we say that India is somewhere down the line pioneering in learning technology. That is something very interesting to learn. And one question
I would
to
add one point to Dr. Mr. Punitha. Like India is no way, lagging behind the technology-enabled learning, but we must transform from the current system of education from the method of rote learning, memorizing and reproducing, to the application-based learning part of it. And if we can do that, we'll be the real number one across the
right, right. So one question to Dr. Subraya, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you.
So, sir, so we are seeing that a lot of things are changing towards digital learning, tech-enabled learning. So when we are talking about these graduates coming to the corporates after maybe upskilling themselves through the technology platforms and maybe taking regular courses on the technology platforms, do you think that it will certainly help them in improvising their career growth?
Yes, definitely. There is no doubt about it. But at the same time, in addition to that, they need to do a lot of other things. Uh, Again, I'll just touch upon with respect to your first questions, the students' challenges, which directly leads to this. See, today the students faces a lot of challenges. First of all, there is no college, and then they need not go to the college. They need not meet all constraint based resources. So when they meet teachers, they provide assignments. They have to go to admissions, administrative sections, no, so many things. That is not there. But the other challenges, like they don't know, they're uncertain about the examination, they're uncertain about how to complete the syllabus, they're uncertain about what to do. But at the same time, the COVID-19, I feel that is my suggestions to all the students, take it as an opportunity. Take it as an opportunity. What do you mean by an opportunity here? Number one, that is totally flexible. 24 hours is with you, and then there is no hard and fast rule. There are no constraints. Our conventional education system is based on constraints. You have to go to the class, sit in the class for 1 hour, you have to do the assignments, you have to face the examination, so many things. No, that is not there. It's totally flexible. Not only that, so if they wanted to study certain concepts, probably they can Google around, they'll go around and then see, and they can master the topic, and then they can develop their good skills also. They can solve more and more problems also, and they can probably join, and then they can build up a good network also. For all these to happen, there must be a discipline. They have to follow certain disciplines. Yes, morning probably 4 hours I will spend on that. I will go and then I will study, I'll develop my skill set, probably on the foundation, probably on the vertical, on any one vertical. Could be automobile, could be whatever that is. That leave it to the individual student. But at the same time, whatever the education system asks them to do it, that also I'll perform, I will ensure that is. So when they do this and then concentrate on solving the problems, creating their own projects, addressing those projects, and that definitely with 100% I can assure them that is will help in the industry. When they complete that, they're definitely, they're the jewels. So once they in a disciplined environment, and if they develop themselves and then solve certain good problems, live problems, and the state of the art problems, and automatically industry will straight away take them, provide internships, etc. Recently, we are doing one project here. It is known as COVID-19 Doctors Care. So today, nobody is taking care of the doctors. And then we thought that let us take up this particular project. And then I asked a couple of students, so why don't you involve in this? And then as part of the NGO, we are providing food to the doctors, accommodations to the doctors, because that is doctors after working 8 hours continuously without taking anything, and they have to be shifted to the a specific accommodation point where they have to be provided with food, probably morning breakfast, night dinner, whatever that is. And then we can't serve them, so we had to provide in a container, we have to place it at a particular point, and they come and they take it out. And after working 1 week, it's a doctor's protocol. After working 1 week, and they have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. And during that time, even though they have the house, they can't go to the house. So they have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. And after that, again, the same batch will come back to the work. So this is how do we handle this? And for this, so we need to leverage the technology. We have given a couple of projects to the students. It's a live problem. It's a live problem. It's a challenging problem. And here, of course, communication is required. Meeting is required. Probably video conferencing is required. And then we have to take the feedback, and we have to interact with the doctors, etc., etc. There are multiple projects are available. So you see, this is I feel that is we have to leverage this COVID-19 as an opportunity and develop the problem-solving skills, sitting at the home, networking with mentors, educators, friends, etc. If they do it in a disciplined environment, I feel that their future is definitely bright. And after the COVID-19, they can come back and then hit the market like anything.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I think that has been a very insightful information and the communication that you have shared with us. And I would request if any of the panelists would want to add anything, or maybe we can close the session for today.
Yeah, as mentioned by Dr. Subraya, this lockdown period may be taken as a great opportunity for any learner.
Right.
So 24 hours is with them, so they have the flexibility of devising their own schedule to get upskilled in the domain they want. So by the time everything lockdown is lifted, let them be equipped to face whatever assessments which are put forth by the affiliating universities, and let them carry on with the regular routine process.
Right.
So there is a great opportunity, and that opportunity is given and leveraged by the technology.
Yes.
So they can very well use the technology.
So, sir, thank you very much. I would like to thank each of the experts present today and sharing their views with us. I would like to also extend sincere thanks to Prosper Theories and Vishwabodhi Foundation. They are working actively towards career assessments for students, and also towards training and placement of students with the corporates. And also, a very special thanks to all the viewers who have joined us today. Today's panel discussion has been very informative. We got to know a few things which are very important and which are really, and the caption today I would want to mention here is the fearless learning part. If we are as a student, as a professional, if we are able to learn or explore fearlessly, then there is no limit to our learning. So with that note, I would like to close the session for today. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's
Thanks
our
for the
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.